Hello, everyone. Welcome to From 2 to 4, where we want to bring Vice chores for everyone. And today we're resuming the deck decks after 2 weeks of hot action in the tournament. We have now one of the biggest female personalities in the community. Teya, how are you? Welcome to the show.
Hi, super glad to be on here. I'm doing great today.
And as we see on the screen, this is our first BanG deck. A set that has a lot of cards, a lot of weird cards, and we want to know, why did you choose this set to bring to the tournament?
It wasn't much choice on my part. Actually, it's the only competitively viable English title that I own because most of my Vice is currently in hobby Japanese purchases. And as far as English goes, I am heavily invested into BanG.
Yeah, basically, this is one of these titles that once you get in, you don't go out because they get releases so often that you have to
Yeah,
update the decks constantly.
yeah, kind of like that. I mean, once you buy into idols, you sell your soul to Bushiroad. There's no going
Yeah,
back.
yeah. Take your soul, President Kirani. You have it. Now on to the deck itself. This is a 8 gate deck with the level 1 costume combo and the another costume combo at the end. Why did you choose to go for this build aside from the other Bangering deck that there is out there? Because there's a lot. There's a lot of Bangering decks out there.
Yeah, well, initially, uh, I mean, the build I played in last year's tournament circuit was Christmas Kasumi and the Yukino finisher, but I looked at that build like once when I got my invite, and I immediately went like, no, yeah, this is not gonna fly in the current meta. And so I was kind of figuring out what to play because I didn't expect this tournament to happen. I didn't expect to be invited. So I had no plans. I mean, my plans were to wait for the Volume 2 release this Friday before I'd play Bang Dream again, but the universe had other plans. So I had to kind of engineer a build together that I would be comfortable playing and that I could also get the cards for. So this is what I ended up with on kind of short notice.
Yeah. Let's go to the levels. To the Kaiba card, and then let's talk about the overall game plan of the deck. So the card level zeros, you have the brainstorm, very good brainstorm. Is the only good brainstorm that goes into every build because they are the other all the other brainstorms are band restricted, and you have some good blossoming zeros. You have the coin flip and the Chisado oversize. As we as we see here, you have no runners in the deck. Why is that a thing?
Well, given how many events I run, the mill runner is automatically not an option because it will probably miss too many times. I wanted to run maybe 2 copies of the free runner, the Remy from the Tarot deck, but ultimately, my problem with that card is that in the late game it's just a dead card. It doesn't do anything and it's red, so it doesn't even help me color fix because most of the deck is red. The problem is blue. So I wanted something that would increase my blue count. I wanted something that would let me top check. So I did consider the level 0 Arisa back row that top checks whenever you play a character. But I ended up deciding against that because I also kind of needed something that would at least sometimes be a plus in level 0. So kind of Chisato ended up being a compromise of all those things. So that's why I run 2 of her and 0 runners.
Yeah. Also, we have the stock bomb instead of the bottom deck bomb, which is one of the usual blue cards people use to splash. Why these instead of that?
I like the stock bomb better purely because it's also reverse denial. It's also extra stock because when the opponent plays a climax, you can send it to stock. Um, and I mean, free stock is always nice. I'm not gonna say no to that. Uh, Other than that, not really any other reason. I didn't feel like I would need the Sire bottom deck bump because I mean she's a great card. She lets you pay out climaxes early, I guess, with her ability. But I do have like the brainstorm, all the drop searches. So yeah, paying out stock early isn't really a problem, and I value having free stock extra.
Yeah. Also, we have rounding out the level zeros, the typical BanG Dream handfix package, like the Beach Climax Salvage, the New Star Saya drop salvager, Kokoro drop searcher, which is a very good drop searcher, pushes for damage, and the one of the two variants that the set has on the Kazuma effect. When you pay one each one and you get the three. Uh, Obviously, you're probably running the blue because of color fix, but anything to add about these like hand fixing tools that it has?
I mean, I think they're all great in their respective regard because like um the Kokoro obviously she's a two soul beater in the middle lane. The Saya is good because she also mills your deck for two, which sometimes you're really happy that you can grab her and then mill an additional two. Arisa obviously just for picking up climaxes or events. And the Kasumi climax dropper was actually I was kind of debating whether if I should run that or if I should run another of the Saya drop salvage, but I ended up with a lot of gates in hand when I was testing the build, so I was like, okay, might as well have something to drop the gates for.
Yeah. Also, it's free, which is as you said, you value stock a lot because this is free. It's very good. Like it
Yeah,
doesn't
yeah,
cost stock.
exactly.
Also, one of the cool things that about these hand fixing zeros is because you run a lot of events with the something in the warehouse event. So there's a big chance that you hit like either level ones or level zero from a mill. So getting any of these can help you out fix what you actually want from your something in the warehouse event. It's like they're all like free get out of jail free cards when you have
Yeah,
them
I mean, there
available.
there have actually been situations, like a bunch of situations where I could only grab a level zero, so I just got one of those and then searched for whatever piece I needed.
Very good. Now on to the level ones. We have for something in the warehouse, very important event. You brainstorm three cards, you choose a level X or lower character with music or Oscar in its card name, and return it to hand. This is the Operation Tornado, as people call it. And we have three toilet events, but we'll get back to those later. And because we have something in the warehouse, we have Christmas Cosme, one of the most expensive cards in BanG. Uh, Very good combo from set one, actually. When this attacks, if you have Twinkle Twinkle Little Star, you get to pick the event back from the waiting room to your hand. Uh, this is I assume you use this combo because it's first of all non in reverse, which is very important in the current meta, but also because this combination of cards lets you control your deck state very well.
Yeah, like that's the main reason for it. I mean, I like the fact how easy it is to loop this combo. I didn't see the appeal of it before I played it, but like once I played it and saw how maneuverable all these pieces are, I fell in love with it. Like, I mean, I'm probably gonna not play it in the new version after the next release, at least not in the main build. But I'll probably come back to it sooner or later at some point because it's just
Yeah,
like a really nice combo, uninteractive, great deck control. It's just a nice combo overall. Takes a lot of deck slots. That's the only downside.
yeah, it's eight cards you have to have in the deck, and you have to mill fast to get to them, otherwise your combo just flops. And that's basically
Yeah.
that's basically when this combo fails, when you don't get enough of the event, or you don't get enough costumes to grab them back. And now let's go to a toilet event. Basically, you cannot play this if you have two or less characters, and you get free stock. And incidental plus, I assume you run this mostly for the stock.
Yeah, I mean, I don't have that many ways to confirm whether or not there's a character on top of my deck in this build. It's mainly for the stock, but also you have such great deck control that most of the time you know what's left in your deck, and you know whether okay, I can play a toilet and I'm very likely to hit, or you know, okay, I should probably hold the toilet because my deck is full of events and climaxes, and it's not a good play right now.
If you want to, because basically you can choose if you want to refresh with the toilet event back in the deck or with the character you would have stocked back in the deck. It's part of the deck control that you have.
Yeah, and another thing that's like good for that is because of the level 3 Musashi effect, you actually do want I mean if you use this to send a level 0 to stock, then that's actually better for you because then you have a level 1 in your waiting room that goes back into the deck instead of a level 0.
Yeah, very well. Now, rounding up the level ones, you have the 1/1 Remy that cannot be reversed by cost zeros, and the 1/0 Remy that basically turns any character into a chaser. This is like probably your uh, reverse denial package, basically.
Yeah, I almost ended up not including the 1/1 Remy because I expected there would be a lot more standby decks, especially with Fujimi recently releasing. So I almost threw that out and played something else instead. But I kept it in. I'm super glad I kept it in because in the games where I actually got to play the 1/1 Remy, it did an amazing job, and especially together with the Remy Chaser, it's just possibly one of the best things you can have on board. And like now that BanG Dream gets an even better standby climax for level 3, I can just tell you right now, when you get the 1/1 on board at level 0, it's not fun. I mean, it's fun for you, not for the opponent.
Yeah, being trying that out uh, in Japanese is a very strong interaction. Having these two on board at level 0 is gonna be not fun for your opponent. So
Yeah,
yeah,
like I think it's definitely gonna see even more play than it does now.
yeah. This card is one of the best cards. It's a common. This is one of the most ridiculous things about this card. That this is a common. It's very strong. Now let's go to level twos and level threes. We have the restricted Trinity that JP has, but in which you can play all three. You can play the stock swap event, the free fresh counter, and the Fumio effect. But let's talk about the stock swap event. Why is this important in the current meta game?
I think there's like a bunch of decks that have huge potential to just snowball their stock. Like Fate very easily gets to a lot of stock, and you kind of don't want to let your opponent do that. I mean, no matter what deck you're playing, you don't want them to have this dead zone that they can just hide a bunch of clean cards in and then refresh with insane compression. Uh, so mostly it's for punishing, I guess, your opponent for playing well.
Yeah, basically it's a card they have to play around or they lose. It's a very alarm. It's an alarm that they have to be aware of. Now, rounding up the level two, you have two different kinds of bombs. You have the bottom deck bomb and the Rimby bomb. Bottom deck bomb is probably for matchups where you need to get rid of the level threes and for permanent ways like Sunshine, Goblin Slayer.
Yeah, I mean, I definitely put that in with Sunshine in mind, because you need a hard removal against Sunshine because if not, they have the cannon, they can just bring the Yo back. So that's not really a question. And the Remy actually was meant for the standby matchups that I was expecting that ended up not happening because this card is like it's amazing. I think a lot of people don't realize how impactful this can be. I mean, okay, maybe not in this kind of tournament because it is open deck. We knew what everyone was playing, but I ran this card in different builds in like regionals, and I had multiple situations where I was up against a player in the Swiss rounds. They had two of their early plays down, and I just looked them in the eye. I played like one random level one. I played this Remy. I said, "Hey, I have like 7 events in my waiting room. So your first early play is getting bombed, and your second early play is just dead to this level one because I'm gonna be 3k over you. So I'm sorry."
Yeah. Also, like one of the things with this bomb is that it's basically free for every Vanguard that runs red because every BanG drink that has at least one good event, so you can guarantee at least like plus 1.5k or plus 3k out of this. So it's very versatile. Like any deck is going to run either this or multiple copies of this. So you just always you can always have this free pump in your card that you're already playing for the other effect. Basically
Yeah,
free.
definitely.
Yeah. Uh, uh, we don't see any early plays in the deck. Is that because you couldn't get it in time, or just a choice that you didn't want to play?
Yeah, I mean exactly because I couldn't I couldn't get them on time. I mean, I maybe could have gotten them, but I didn't want to risk it, so I ended up not choosing that. Although in some matchups, I did have moments when at level 2 I really wished I could put something more substantial on board. Uh, but it
Yeah,
is what it is.
it's hard to get cards in this situation, but I mean, the deck looks very solid overall. I mean, you can just it also it will be hard to find a card to cut for an early play.
Yeah, that was the other problem. Like anything else that I would put in at level 3, I would have to. I mean, I would have to probably cut one of the. I mean, I could probably cut one of the custom healers because you don't usually want to field 3. You usually try to go for like one of the customies that spawn other cards, and then you play one healer and then spawn the other healer. So, maybe the proper play would be uh, at least one early play instead of playing four of the custom healers.
I
Or,
mean,
I mean,
you can just get rid of like one of the 1/1 remis, but I don't know. The card it
yeah,
did
I
work
mean,
that well.
probably, like, especially for this kind of matchup, I wanted two of the remis because they're not the easiest to get early on. But yeah, I mean, if you experiment with this deck, like in the future, just I guess try cutting whatever, whatever feels right for your local matchups.
Yeah. Now let's talk about the finishing power of the deck. We have, as you said, the Kazumi Toyama from set one. Climax combo with the Starbeat that first was a Star Soul, now it's a Gate, which is a very welcome improvement. And on combo, you can call one music character or Asuka from your hand onto the field. And the main target is going to be usually the Sound of Beginning Kazumi Toyama, which is the finishing combo with the same climax, which is very comfy actually, having two combos on one climax.
Yeah, it's pretty cool. I mean, I saw this combo played before, uh, and I kind of realized, oh yeah, that's cool. You can like spawn things with the same climax, but like actually playing it now, I think I underestimated it because it has like a pretty high finishing power. But the most important thing, I think, it also has that kind of way of assembling itself because you can play the Kasumi from set one, and she like draws two ditches to send top deck to stock. So not only she's a cheap play, but she also digs for other pieces. And I did have games where my entire finishing turn got put together by getting one of these Kasumis in hand and then just throwing caution to the wind.
Yeah. Uh, Also, this combo is very reminiscent of. It's seen recently printed in the Cardcaptor Sakura in the JP version. Uh, Pay two, each one red card you burn equal to the number of something in the warehouse events. Uh, One of the good things about this combo is that you can control the damage very well because you know how many events are in the waiting room. So you say, okay, I'll burn for one, for two, for three, even for four if you want.
Yeah, and you
And
can even teach the event for the cost, so you can burn for two, and then for the next one you can discard the event, then you burn for three.
or if you have events on your stock, you can just pay them accordingly.
Yeah, that as well.
Uh, Very good. Also, no something to note is that it gets 3k for the combo until the end of your opponent next turn, so it's very big on defense. So combined with the free fresh counter and the Fumio, you can just get very big on defense and survive some weird, some unreverse combo your opponent.
Yeah, there have been situations, especially I mean against Sunshine, for example, where I was constantly sitting at like 13.5k. So there was a lot of crashing board in that matchup, which maybe isn't necessarily something a lot of decks expect. Um, Especially not from BanG Dream because Yukina, for example, is quite weak on the reverse.
Mocha also.
Yeah, same. I was just thinking, does Mocha get power? No, she doesn't.
Yeah.
So
Like,
this is
continue.
yeah, this is kind of I mean, a surprise, I guess, probably more to me because I didn't quite notice how impactful that was, and it helps especially because the card also heals. So if you're kind of behind, like I was in a lot of my games this tournament, you can just play it down as a healer, use the combo, maybe even just with one card, and she's still gonna be 13k on their opponent's turn. So you have pretty high chances that it's gonna leave, especially if you have the image chaser in the background, so you can just move it around the board wherever.
Yeah, you can go for like heal back to 3-0 string once, try to survive, then in the next turn do it again because the card just leaves.
Yeah,
Yeah,
basically that.
yeah, basically because it beats like the usual idea of like Bandari loses board every turn.
Yeah.
Also, rounding up the whole deck, we have the Asai Chigaya, the Fumio, as people call it, or the Bandari Fumio. Uh, you can only send one climax. You can only keep one climax out of the deck, but in combination with Toilet and like Bounce for Luck and everything, you have this very complete engine that can just ruin someone's compression.
Yeah, I mean, I guess it like depends on how usable it is because in a tournament like this again, well, most players know how to play against stock swap and Fumio. Most players know like how to at least kind of prepare themselves. So while it's still useful at some point, you're probably not gonna see a situation where someone would be like totally open for stock swap and then Fumio, of course. But like I think especially in like Swiss rounds in regionals, where people like for example don't think about playing around stock swap or maybe don't expect it or don't know which sets have it or not. It's a pretty impactful play, especially if the opponent tries really hard to compress and they use their stock to just hide away as many cards as possible.
Also, is usually what Vanguard does is that they use a splash discard because it's you play only one or two and you just splash it with the level zeros like you are doing. Because even though you're running blue for toilet, also it's blue for splashing for this because these cards are so powerful against unprepared players.
Yeah, I mean, it doesn't even feel bad, even if you just play it normally, I guess. I mean, maybe in this build it's a bit worse, but in the standby builds, this card's pretty great because if you bring it out as a standby target, it's still a global boost to your whole board.
Yeah, it's a very strong card overall. Yeah, uh, good. This is a very strong deck as we see in the deck, but sadly it didn't go that well for you in the tournament. Any thoughts on what went wrong with this deck or the tournament itself, or you're running the tournament?
Well, like I think it's not a problem with the deck. I think it's a problem with uh, me playing the deck. Because like generally I'm one of those players who like to get as much experience hands-on with the deck they're playing as possible. And like once I get to that point, I'm comfortable in pretty much whatever situation, whatever game state. But I do need like some testing to get to this point, and I just couldn't get enough testing in with this build. So I kind of just assembled something that I knew would work better than Yukina. And then I thought, well, you know what? I'm gonna try my best. I'm gonna have some fun. There are some details in this build that I was like theoretically aware of them. I wasn't really aware of them in practice. like the fact that for the custom finisher you need to discard a red card, which is something I forgot in my first game, and it came back to punish me because I did have cards in hand, but just blue ones, so I ended up not being able to properly use both of my finishers, and just stuff like that. I mean, the misplays I made were had more to do with the fact that I didn't feel fully comfortable with this deck yet. And then I think every time when you play a new deck, you're still kind of figuring out the tempo, maybe the priorities, like at which point do you start assembling your level 3 pieces? Do you have to hold this climax? Do you have to discard this climax? Um, yeah, like I was comfortable on it in the early turns because it was pretty similar to what I ran in the Yukino version. The later turns were somehow a bit shaky for most of the games. So yeah, I probably, if I had more time to get more accustomed to the build, I assume I would have done better. But as it is, I think the deck is fine. I think the build is fine. Probably I would have included maybe the Christmas Saya early play for the heal. But like I think the way I built the deck was like actually just okay. Um, and yeah, pretty much that.
Yeah. Also, as we see, this is a event heavy deck, and it's very normal for event heavy decks to have like some clunkiness, some innate clunkiness to them because you're drawing your events while you're trying to draw your characters to do your combos. And sometimes you just have a handful of events or a hand that requires your events, and you don't have any. So
Yeah, it definitely does happen. And then there's also the fact that usually when playing Christmas Kasumi, you try to like loop the event once, maybe twice, depending on how fast paced the game is, and then you generally don't give a shit anymore where the event is. But the with running this finisher that also looks for events in the waiting room, you kind of can't afford that. You have to spend the entire game either holding these in hand or making sure they're in your deck or in your stock because you don't want to be in the unfortunate position of like being stuck at level 3 with two of these events in the clock.
yeah, like that's one of the reasons why the free fresh counter is in because like you need to control your deck state even further than usual banking decks. You, if you sometimes you don't have any events and you need to you're milling your events and your climaxes at the same time, you just like okay, I have to reset the deck.
Yeah. And then sometimes you make stupid plays and you end up milling 3 climaxes with no targets to actually take back, just usual Vice things.
Yeah, usual buys. Yeah, but overall, it looks like a very strong deck. I mean, this is if if you can get the cards, like this deck is a build that this is a build that you can actually play. I've seen it top like Mexico, I think it top a variant of this deck. So this is a very strong combo, and overall, I think you did a pretty good job building this deck. We're sad that you didn't do that well in the tournament itself, but we're happy to have you here, and we're happy that you had the time to share this deck with us and with your viewers. That I'm sure they are pretty happy about it.
Yeah, I mean, by all means, like if someone wants to build Bank Dream and like doesn't want to spend a bunch of money on the Yukino finisher or maybe already has this card because I know a bunch of people have probably the Kasumi from Ghostbed Party Volume 1 lying around somewhere. It's definitely like a build worth trying. It's fun to play. It's nice. So yeah, by all means, like take it, change it, modify it, make it work better than I did.
Yeah. Also, talk now that we talked about the tournament. How did you feel about the tournament? Like playing on it, the hype around it. Tell us your experience as one of the players in the tournament.
I mean, honestly, it's incredible. I think this is the best thing that's happening to Vice this year after everything's getting cancelled. Like I was positively surprised uh, by the fact that this actually got organized, that I got invited. It's been like a really great opportunity, I think, for everyone. I mean, there's like a bunch of really good players, really good content creators, and I got to talk more with a bunch of them than I usually would because we're all playing in this tournament now. And it goes even beyond that because apparently now everyone doesn't really have any other venues for Weiss, so all eyes in the community are on this tournament. And I think it's incredible how we just brought the whole community together because there are so many people watching the matches when they're streamed, so many people watching the videos later. We have like different content creators coming from outside doing deck tags like you guys. Then the Clock Tower channel doing the daily match reviews. There's just so much going on, and it's nice to see because when this whole thing started and the tournaments just got cancelled, it for a moment like it kind of felt like Vice just wasn't going to do anything this year, and I mean I think that would be really sad. But because of this tournament, something's actually happening, and not just something, but actually something amazing.
Yeah, this is something that very like basically brought us back into the hype, into the idea of wanting to play more Vice. So we are really happy with the organization, with everyone that's been involved, including you as a player. So yeah, uh, this like is very good. We're really happy that you agreed to do this. And yeah, we hope to see you soon in your blog or in any other tournament that comes up. So thank you very much for coming. Thank to you guys, the viewers, to come and watch this deck tech. We're planning more deck techs for this week. We had kind of a break, but we're now back in full force. Thank you, Teya, for coming. Thank you, you guys, for watching, and we'll see you next time. We're done.